The Samsung Galaxy Note 20 was sold around $1,000 when it was released in 2020, and that price made it difficult to be recommended for people because there were a lot of other phones around $1,000 that offered a bit more than this. There were some compromises with the plastic build, 60Hz refresh rate on the display, a slightly smaller battery, and the cameras were not up to par when compared to other flagships selling for $1,000. Right now, you can pick it up for between $200 to $300 depending on the deal that you get, and it's probably a good deal because it's difficult to get something better brand new in 2024 that gives you this type of performance. Now, if you want a brand new Samsung phone for around the same price point, the Galaxy A25 is your best bet, and it doesn't have a flagship level chipset, and you're also not getting an S Pen that we have here. Well, I've been using this phone for over a week now, and here is my experience with the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 5G in 2024. First, let's talk about the plastic at the back of this phone, and some people might say it's not premium. Holding it in the hand and using it day to day made me forget it was even plastic, and most of you that will buy this phone will end up using a case at the back, and there is no need to even think about plastic again because you have a case at the back. Another thing is, if you look at it, glass breaks easily, and plastic is more resistant to drops on hard surfaces, so it's more durable. The design isn't anything crazy. I would say it's minimal, and you also get wireless charging, which is a feature you won't get on any other phone selling around its price in 2024. You can also reverse charge other accessories like earbud and smartwatches at the back of this phone. Even other phones, you can reverse charge them at the back of this phone. The camera bump isn't as big as other phones, and we will talk about the cameras in a bit. It weighs around 200 grams, making it hefty in the hand. It has stereo speakers tuned by AKG, and it's loud and sound quite decent. The phone is boxy, and the curve by the side makes it comfortable in the hand, but I must say it feels big because of the overall size of 6.7 inches. One thing you won't find on any phone selling within its price in 2024 is an S Pen. At the bottom, we find an S Pen, which is very important for most people. The S Pen gives you a different experience, and there are a lot of air gestures and hidden features you can do with the S Pen. Signing documents and taking quick notes is also a thing with the S Pen, and I can't overstate the use and importance of this S Pen. It adds to the overall experience of the Galaxy Note 20 in 2024. The S Pen is also quite responsive and fast, even though Samsung have a couple of new S Pens on their latest models that is faster than this one. We have a large 6.7 inch display. It's Super AMOLED Plus, and we have to give credit to Samsung. It's a sharp and bright display. Even outdoors, I don't struggle to see the display clearly. It supports HDR10 Plus, and watching content on this display is super crisp. You get clear visuals, the color appear how they are supposed to be, and I've enjoyed watching content on YouTube and Netflix on this phone. You also get an under display fingerprint scanner that is fast, ultrasonic, and I love the placement as well. The bezels around the display are minimal, and the overall experience with the display is flagship level, I must say. The only problem is that it has the standard 60Hz refresh rate, which might be a problem for some people, but generally there are a lot of phones, flagship level phones, that are also coming out in 2024 with 60Hz refresh rate, and I feel it's going to be okay to use the display of this phone considering the price. Having a higher refresh rate would have been better, of course, but I think it's still not a deal breaker. It is responsive to touch, and the resolution is also 1080p. Of course, when it was released back then in 2020, the 1080p resolution will be a problem to some people because $1,000 there were a lot of phones with higher resolution, but right now for around $200 I feel the resolution is okay. One thing I also don't want to forget is, of course, the typing experience, the haptic feedbacks you get while typing on the display. It's quite nice, and I have to point it out. Now, the phone is running on Android 13, and One UI 5 is the user interface, and that's the last software update the phone is going to get. There won't be One UI 6 on this phone, but there are monthly security patches, and I think when I got this phone I updated it at least 5 times to catch up. I would say the software experience is great. You get a lot of features and customizations that is typical of any Samsung phone. The noticeable thing missing is the lack of AI features you get on some recent Samsung phones, and you also don't get those AI features on the phones it's competing with directly in terms of Samsung Samsung like the Galaxy A25. Wallpaper theming is one of my favorite features of Samsung's UI, and it is available here as well. And you also get a complete control of how you want the phone to look. Software wise, I would say that it's not bad. Android 13 isn't actually very far behind in terms of the overall Android experience. Multitasking is a breeze, and you can open multiple apps at the same time and do a lot of things on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. Now, my unit is powered by the Snapdragon 865 Plus, which of course is a flagship chipset. There is a variant out there with the Exynos 9990, but I'll advise you to go with the model that has the Snapdragon 865 Plus if you want to go ahead and buy this phone. Performance is smooth on the phone, no lags or stutters. I've played different games on this phone like Call of Duty Mobile, Call of Duty Warzone and the likes, and it performs just smooth. I like how apps open up very fast. You get 8 gigs RAM and 128 gig storage space on the phone, and it is also the only variant available. I wish we had like up to 256 gig storage space, because nowadays 128 gig storage space is getting too small. I don't want to complain much about the performance. It's very okay for $200, and it's even better than a lot of budget and mid-range offerings of 2024. Camera wise, there are 3 cameras at the back of this phone. As you can see, we have 2 12 megapixel camera and a 64 megapixel telephoto lens at the back. You also get a 12 megapixel selfie camera up front, and pictures with the main camera are impressive. You also get an option to pick the 64 MP lens for more details while snapping pictures on the phone, and most of the pictures you are seeing in this video were actually shot with the 64 megapixel option in the settings. I love how colorful the images appear to be, and HDR is also impressive. With skin tones, I would say I'm impressed, and these are pictures I can happily post online. The ultra wide shots are great, and you also get a lot of details when you zoom in all the way to like 30x. You don't get that Samsung 100x zoom on this phone. There is night mode in the camera app that gives you more details at night, and make sure you always toggle that on when you want to snap in low light conditions. The selfie is also impressive as well. I love the details when you snap in well lit environments. You can also shoot 4K videos with the phone at 60 or 30 fps, and I must say it is quite smooth. The phone has a 4300 mAh battery, and it supports 25-watt charging. It takes over an hour to charge the phone from 0 to 100. At best, you can get a complete day of battery life on this phone, but it should be very low by the end of the day. If you are a demanding user, I would say you are most likely not to get a complete day of battery life, and unless maybe you are a demanding user, then I'll now start advising you not to look at this phone if you are thinking about battery. Overall, the battery life is okay even for someone like me who uses their phone a lot. This is actually a phone I see myself using. That's it for the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. This is a phone I see myself using in 2024 because of the pricing. If I'm on a tight budget, I can definitely go with this phone. It's a big phone with big performance and cameras. The software experience is also decent. If you love an S Pen on a phone, then you have it here. What else do you want to know about the Galaxy Note 20? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.